It's that voice. Recording in progress. Okay, recording in progress. We're motor babbling. Um, let's start with some theta breath. So we're going to start with just coming into your own experience of being with this soft, gentle hiss, theta breath, and allowing your body and your nervous system to come online. There's a movie, Tron, that I guess it came out in the 80s, and then they did a remake in, I don't know, or not a remake, a sequel. And in the movie, like they were inside of a game and their bodies lit lit up when they were playing the game. So imagining that lighting up of your body, like their costumes lit up and they were like these sort of neon. It's cool. It's an image that I like. But imagining that that's what you're inviting in with the theta breath is this onlining of sensation, onlining of experience in your nervous system. And we'll just do theta for a couple of minutes. Letting yourself move in any way, being in any relationship to gravity that feels good. Coming into the primordial experience of being a body of water, whatever that means to you. Coming into the fluid resonance of your own system, the fluid, the resonance of all the fluid within your system, which is in turn resonating with the planet, with the water in the jar, with the rivers, with the lakes, with the moon. We're coming up on the full moon. Allowing those extended exhales to just decompress anything that feels compressed or tight in your body, just letting that breath soften, creating internal space, feeling into being. Hey, Steve, we're just coming in with some theta breath, coming in for a landing in our own bodies. I'm muting you. Onlining sensation, awareness, and even micro movement within your nervous system, within your body. Gentle, soft hiss. With a really smooth flow on that exhale. So, really gentle release of breath. Letting the water in your body attune to down regulation in the nervous system. So, this awareness coming online, but awareness that's very gentle, fluid, very forgiving and accepting of whatever's coming, right? The screen of awareness. The screen isn't quite the right metaphor. Let's say the waters of awareness are open to whatever shows up. And in this place, let's invite in our most curious, playful selves. So, this idea of motor babbling is really about how does movement come online in our body and not this like perfect orchestrated movement, but this playful, curious movement. And I used to teach a class called role play, and it was all about just rolling around on the ground like a small animal, like learning to be in a body. So coming with that idea and with that uh, openness and awareness, or letting awareness land in a sense of open playfulness. So from here, let's just take in the environment with your head turning from side to side, really relaxed and easy. And in the interest of not just doing the same thing that we always do, as you're looking around, really let your eyes take in the up and the downness of the space. So it's kind of like your eyes are moving along this wave. Maybe your head moves along too, like, oh, look down there. Oh, look up there. As you're taking in the space with the head turning from side to side, just adding in this up and downness. And if your neck hurts at all, just don't go that far. Keep it small. Keep it something in a range of motion that feels good to you. And notice what happens to your experience in the up and in the down. As you look up, as your head lifts slightly compared to looking down, does anything change in the state, in the emotional tone, in the feeling tone of your body? A little roller coaster ride of the eyes, taking in the environment, the sense of wonder and expansion in the space around you, and then the sense of presence and embodied awareness coming into this body, mind, uh, organic process. Like the language is always really challenging. And let's start to just wake up our tips of our fingers. So, in whatever way, like coming out to this distal edge of your body, you could look at them, see your hands, and allow them to move a little bit or a lot. But if you didn't know what hands could do and you look down and you suddenly see these things, what happens? How do they move? Like as if you're onlining the dexterity of your body, but you could imagine that this body has played the instrument, like an instrument, like the harp or a piano, and imagining, oh, this body that I'm in already knows how to do certain things. So it's not like just a lumpy meat suit. It's a very intelligent, highly fluent body mind system. And I'm just coming into it with curiosity and openness. And as your fingers start to wake up, let it move up through your wrists, your forearms, your elbows, upper arms into the shoulders. And feeling this capacity for information to come in and information to go out. So there's this gathering in of information and maybe even scattering out, feeling around the environment with your arms, with your hands, and also feeling how those hands and arms connect into your torso, into your body, into your closer to your eyes, into your central channel, just giving yourself freedom. And yeah, maybe some self touch is even interesting in there. Oh, the hands have discovered that there is a body here. And what does it feel like? What are the different textures? What are the different densities? I'm just going to give us music for this continued play. And the idea of motor babbling is like, well, it's babies, they're learning how to move. So, like, it's like babbling, like a babbling mouth. But think of your hands like a babbling brook, or hands like a babbling, bubbling fluid system. And there's also in machine learning machines do this motor babbling to learn how to move. So it's not just humans. And yeah, surprise, surprise. But we are going to take it in this human animal level. So letting yourself find ways of connecting to this system that are playful, curious, maybe childlike, or maybe more like an octopus that has this incredible dexterity, the capacity to change shape, to change color, to change form. And I'm going to get down onto the floor. And allow the role play. And role play as in ROLL, not ROLE, but maybe it's also ROLE. Slowing down whenever you need to, or speeding up. If you feel like you have connected into a pattern and you are starting to know something and form assumptions, then start to shift the pattern, right? So, oh, I learned that. Now I can move on to something else. Novel movement is the way to shift and change the environment, right? If we stay in the same movement, it's the same pattern, it's the same. So we want to invite in novelty, playfulness, and novel movement. Giving yourself full permission to pause anytime. Or to slow down. So we're not running away from anything here. We're just being playful in our exploration and just seeing what shows up on the silent level. Unlining your legs and your feet, your toes. And giving yourself complete permission to move in any way that feels curious, that feels good. Moving towards what feels pleasurable and tasty, not just what might be a little painful and easy to notice. Like I have kind of got a crick in my neck. It feels kind of nervy, like some little nerve in there isn't quite happy. So I could spend all my time trying to fix that, but I think I'm more curious about other things. So when we first get into this type of work, really fixing, healing, trying to amend things might happen a lot, and that's fine. But also allow for just curiosity and open, free flow play. Allowing your relationship to the gravitational pull of the earth to shift and change. Or if you need to really rest, giving yourself permission to rest here. So our nervous system The energy within our nervous system is very sort of electrical, like currents moving through our body. So inviting in that sort of information highway. And it's almost like I start to see like a highway at night with the light of a car going down. There's the information. So it's kind of an old model because we could also think that our water, the resonance in the fluid body, knows everything, and there's no need to follow these electrical currents, right? But it might be curious to play between the two. The aliveness and vitality of the fire within our body. And then the fluid resonance of the water in our body. Just asking yourself, what is going on? What is happening at the silent level? What does it feel like in here? Is there any sense of weightedness that I can just yield into the floor, right? Can I give myself, my body to the floor as I roll? Or does it feel good to push away, to resist the floor, to lift up and away? There isn't a right or a wrong way. Tuning into whatever sense of like wave motion is happening in your body, any ripples, waves, undulations. They don't have to be big, they could be very tiny little movements, little micro movements inside. Bringing back the theta breath anytime if you want to connect and slow down or add an element in the breath, just add some theta. As you're in this mode of babbling, allowing any old structures to just crumble away. So any structures that don't fit anymore, let them just crumble away. Trusting your body and your organic, biological morphing process to actually be able to process a lot of material. So occasionally that can be emotional. So we just want to hold some compassionate heart space for that. Some non-judgmental openness. Although I was listening to the Emeralds today, I was listening to an older podcast on guardians and protectors. And sometimes we do want to enclose. So also within this exploration, you can enclose and shut You can close the door and go in. You can spiral into the interior places. Sometimes the emphasis is so much on this open expansion, when what we really need is just to curl in. So inviting any kind of inward involution, inward curling that feels good. What is it like to go in? And then maybe the curiosity wants you to come back out. However it is, inviting in that guardian protection of just enclosing yourself, right? If I just even wrap around my organs, I'm like, oh, I'm enclosed in here. I can nourish and nurture myself within this little pod place until I'm ready to grow out again. And this motor babbling may also be like taking in the information of, like, what is the sensation under a body part? Like the sensation of touch or the air. Like I'm on these very different surfaces here with this soft fleece mat or blanket, and then also this wool carpet and a wood floor. Letting your body learn through the senses what is going on at this silent level, right? It doesn't have to be conceptualized or no big story needs to be made about it. It's just on this exploratory developmental level. And we can also, feel into what it is to push or pull, to resist. Everything doesn't have to be soft, gooey, and soupy. Can also find the earthiness of our bodies, our bones, our tendons, ligaments, the fascia. Motor babbling with density and strength and earthy qualities, groundedness, strong muscliness, motor babbling, as well as motor babbling with light, floaty, like a gas, like a, when you see incense burning and you see the ripples of the smoke, inviting in this spectrum of that density and grounded strength with this light airiness, like the smoke of an incense burning, or like a cloud or a breeze. And sometimes just the images can create these sensations, or sometimes our body just starts to feel things. Inviting in your most playful child who loves to move. And is fully accepted as a mover in this moment. And if there's a lot of story around movement of what you're allowed to do or what not, what you shouldn't do, just let that kind of fall away and just come back to the sensation of moving. What does it feel like when you are allowed and encouraged to move with curiosity? We could also imagine that we're moving from the energy field of our body. What would that be like? To be the aura moving, to be the central channel or the side channels. Yeah, sensing into the ground of experience through your body. And offering your own little child self some kindness and some love, offering your child self some love, right? The space loves you. It fully accepts you in any way that you show up, in any way that you express. Giving yourself permission to come back to this idea of exploration. What is it to move? What is it to let go of the ways of moving that you already know and try different things, breaking the rules, if there are any? When I first started studying with this woman, Liz Cook, she wrote the SOAS book, and she talks about the SOAS being like the eco messenger or the, I don't know, spirit messenger of what you need in your body. But one of the things that she said to me, and I was there with another friend who was also a movement analyst, and we're both dancers, and she looked at us and she's like, "You guys are working so hard in your muscles. You're so muscle driven." And it was like, oh, is there a different way to move besides moving from my muscles? And we did some exercise that, like, for me was impossible. It was like some kind of like internal external rotation thing, and my muscles were exhausted, and she was just moving with total fluidity, and I was like, oh, there's another way to move, and I don't know it. I I need to learn it. So inviting in this different way of moving, not with so much effort, but with just fluidity. Let the energy move you. Let the water move you. Now, I do love moving with my muscles as well, but there is another way. And the body is moving in several different rhythms on its own, right? Without your conscious awareness thinking about it. We can feel into the rhythm of our breath or of our heartbeats. And sometimes, like, the buzz of my nervous system is very apparent. Tuning into the flows, the inner flows, and the inner shapings, and the inner vibrations. Every once in a while, just ask yourself if there's something to let go of. Like, when I slow down a little bit and I just pause, I can feel, oh, I can let go of a little bit of tension there, or I can open this up a little. And just because this is like maybe a more playful approach, role play, see what it feels like to let your face smile. Like, what would it be like to smile or to laugh? Like, to invite that in, that what is funny. Invite in the sense of humor into your experience. Doesn't need to be taken too seriously. Is there any bubbly flow of lightness to be found here? Sometimes when things are uncomfortable, they're really funny, right? Sometimes when things are heated, like the response instead of anger might be laughter, or sometimes laughter comes out at all the wrong times, right? Humor and laughter as a means of being with whatever is going on. But it could also just be funny. So allowing in that sense of humor into your experience, not taking it too seriously. Yeah, if I even just smile, it opens that up, and I feel a little delight in my face. That's what I'm feeling. It might be very different for you. But you could let go of feeling responsible for this experience and just let it be whatever is arising. Letting go of this idea that you're doing it, and just let it be what's arising, what's happening. It's the moment that we all showed up together. And something new was born. And it learned how to babble. It learned how to move. Through easy, gentle experimentation and encouragement. one time I was getting a Rolfing massage. I had been in a series of Rolfing sessions, and I was in a series with this Rolfer, and he was working on my left ribs. And at some point, I just started laughing for a really long time, and I couldn't stop. And it was like he had opened up something that a little Pandora's box of laughter for me. And I talked to my chiropractor later about this, and she was like, "Oh, he unleashed some laughter for you. It opened up this place." So sometimes we have little emotional stores within our body, and they may not even be connected to any story at all. I've got this little reservoir over here of laughter that bubbles up sometimes. And over here, there's some sadness and some grief. And maybe over here behind this door, I've got some anger. And over here is something it's too secret to even say to anyone. What does it even feel like in your body? What does it feel like your shape is? Like within, if we take away the mental image of our bodies, what is the feeling of our body? I think Jingmei Lingpa, a Tibetan, is he Tibetan? Pretty sure, Buddhist, uh, said at one point, this is like a couple hundred years ago, but he talked about the experience of our body being like an empty balloon. Like when we come from the experience, the feeling sensation. And when I play with lightness, I can have that feeling of being an empty balloon. But my empty balloon is moving. It's moving from within. And it's changing shape. Shaping into different forms. What flows in your body? What flows can you tune into? Maybe it's the thoughts that are flowing in your body. Maybe the thinking mind is really good at flowing. Maybe the bubbly effervescence of life force is flowing in your body. If you just came into your body and you could only feel it, if you couldn't see, how would you paint your body, right? How would you, like when you could see and you didn't know what it looked like, how would the feeling of your body be painted or be imagined? Sometimes, sometimes I say our body is a system of biotensegrity, right? This biological tensegrity system. And a system of tensegrity has like struts and elastic parts but we don't have anything that's a strut really. We have bones, and the bones are curvilinear. And they're really deeply interwoven with the perifascia, the fascia that's right next to the bone. Like it's very closely woven. So we're kind of these densities that are more dense and then more fluid. But all of it has an amount of elasticity. Even our bones, like we couldn't breathe if our lungs didn't move. And bearing weight with a little bit of elasticity gives our bones more uh, strength, right? These curvilinear shapes inside of our body. And the resonance of the water in there, which the water is in our blood, our cerebrospinal fluid, our lymphatic fluid. It's surrounding and interpenetrating our fascia and shifting and adjusting. And as we move, we're giving it this capacity to renegotiate the inner space. But even that word renegotiation sounds like, we're talking about a deal. We're talking about tariffs, but we're not. We're talking about a organic living system, like a river delta. Yeah. More in common with a grapefruit than a robot. Even if that robot is incredibly intelligent and has learned how to motor babble really well. This trajectory of life force within us. Like, the baby is born, and who knows which way that baby's life is going to go. What movements and flows will take up our lives. When I drink water, how soon does that water become part of me, right? How much do I need to digest it before it is me? How much does my body need to absorb it? Before I can say that water is me. I am that water. I am that breath. I am that heat in my body. I am that earth in the food and in my bones, in my material being. And what part of me knows, right? What part of my body knows? Where's my knowing, my wisdom? The silent level wisdom in my body. the sound out with the music, which was Ambient Fields song number 2 from album number 3. All of this wonderful stuff is available on Bandcamp. Giving yourself a minute or two to, you can keep moving, but just give your body a chance to process anything, just to be in the silence of the experience. Tuning into any internal rhythms or flows that you can feel. Like when you sit in front of the fire and you're just watching the fire flickering, it's easy just see the fire and watch it flicker, and maybe thoughts come and go. But I'm sort of hoping that these somatic explorations are kind of like sitting in front of the fire, letting the fire flicker in whatever way, just giving your body a chance to be a body with whatever that means. And if you need to pop out, feel free to pop out. Always nice to be with everybody. But if you want to say anything, or if you have any,
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you.
thank you,
I
Heather.
definitely felt like I was in front of a fire. Just felt like I dropped really deep and went really slow. It was lovely. Thank you.
You're
Mm.
welcome. Thank you. Yeah, the silent level doesn't always have a lot to say.
Yeah, it was great. And I wanted to say that I started having all this mental activity, fantasizing about producing a wedding here for me and Iram and Brewster. And it was so interesting that, like, just like I was having the movement and the fire and the flow and the water and the octopus and and all that great stuff. And that I just kept thinking about having a wedding, here. And it was just so interesting to have so much specific, practical, mental activity, the food and the guest list and the music and and be like in this very like great somatic process. So really cool to be able to kind of be in both or back and forth, or I don't know. It was very interesting.
Well, I look forward to that. Oh, I'm going to stop recording, and I will make sure that that doesn't get put anywhere.